Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Live Market Analysis ASX edition. My name is Carl Capolingua. I'm the market analyst over here at Think Markets Australia, and it's a pleasure to be with you as we delve into the depths of your portfolio. We're going to pick out the winners, kick out the losers, and find some great new stocks to add to your portfolio. If you're new to live market analysis, the agenda today is extremely simple. Find the Q&A window somewhere in your Zoom window over there. Type in the stocks you're interested in, and I'll do my best to give you a technical and fundamental reader. You could be also watching on any of the streaming services, that is YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. There should be a way you can get in touch with me as well. Let us head over to the charts first. And don't worry, this is not what we're going to look at, just happens to be the first one on the ASX list. Nick from Think Markets has joined us. What I might kick off with, because I've got a bunch of Twitter requests here, and to head off, I guess, probably many concerns today about what's going on in ASX Lithium from one of my followers, Flamen Moltres. Well done, Flamen. That is an interesting handle. He or she would like to know about Rio Lithium, Latin Resources, and Delta Lithium. So I'm guessing Flamen's portfolio is a little bit skewed towards the lithium sector. I am not here to judge. Not always a great idea when lithium stocks appear to be coming off. We did talk in a Thursday session a couple of weeks ago now about the problems with lithium minerals prices. If you haven't seen those charts, let me show them to you very quickly. We will discuss them obviously again on Thursday, but that's the lithium hydroxide price. So we had noted for many weeks now how it had been flattening out. Obviously, we picked this downtrend. We picked it through here that the momentum had changed. We picked that, there might be some bumpy times ahead for lithium stocks. We watched it bounce. We said that the next move after this flat move would be decisive. Well, I hoped it would be up. It hasn't been up, unfortunately. It's been down. Look, as long as we stay above this level here, I think it's 267. Let's just say we're okay. It's not great right now. Beneath there, I think we're in huge trouble. Hopefully we get a double bottom, some sort of double bottom with a rising bottom. So literally here at 300 now, this is RMB per kilogram on the contract out there in Shanghai. And then a pop back up and then a close back above here, which I think is 357, would make it actually start to look good that this whole episode is over and we can go back up and test those highs. It's not there right now. So it's looking more like coming down and testing those lows than anything else. And that's lithium carbonate. That's also rolling over. So this is the big catalyst over the last few sessions. Really, it's this sort of realization that these prices are starting to roll over again. That's the problem. I'm going to head over here to Rio Lithium. You can see we've got many scratchings. We've covered this many times in the past. Generally from the long side, anytime you see a plus 1/3 is where I've live in session called it a buy. So plus 1/3. There would have been a minus 1/3 here. It never occurred. A minus 1/3 here, which I think would have occurred, and therefore at most probably on Leo, if you had done nothing else, you'd be at plus 2/3. However, this here I have pointed to in the past. I wasn't live on that session, but probably a good point to get back in. Right now, there's not a lot we can do at all, regardless of what I say, because it's in a trading hold. In fact, shares have been suspended pending communication from Rio Lithium with respect to communication they've had from the Mali government. Obviously, we're talking about their Gualamina lithium project over there in Mali, and it was green light. They'd awarded a local contractor, the rights to build the mine. Ganfeng, big Chinese lithium company, just got involved. You would have thought they would have all done their due diligence on what Mali was about to do, and Mali hasn't done anything yet. We don't know what's going to happen, but a few are assuming the worst there. So you can see this finished trading on the 17th of July. I can't tell you where it's going to open. We know many other ASX lithium stocks have significantly pulled back since then. So that's about all the analysis really I can do on it for you, Flamen. Suffice it to say, at that point in time on the 17th, there really wasn't a whole lot to do. It would still have been a hold, although those 4 black candles in a row, let's face it, would start to erode some of your confidence. But we'd be looking mainly at, as long as it sort of stays above here, you could continue to roll with that hold thesis. I don't know where it's going to open. I can't give you any more comment on that, unfortunately. Let us go to your second pick, which happens to just be right there. How good is that? Latin Resources. Now, this is a live price. If I go over here and you look up, you can see 25th of the 7th, 2023. Okay, we are on a daily chart if you're uncertain as to what some of these technicals representing. Also, while we've covered in the past, we've had some plus 1/3 here. I suspect we had one before that, just not on screen. As you can see, we've talked about it potentially exiting here, never happened. Maybe even exiting minus 1/3. I might have talked about a close beneath that level. Certainly, this concerns me here, this big black candle. That's a problem for me. And it is enough just in itself, because it did take out this demand candle here. The low of that demand candle. It hasn't taken out this one, but this is why we do things like this. We're not, just my model, hey, you can do it any way you want. I really must stress that it is up to you how you trade. And I will never know how you trade. And this is the reason why this is general advice, okay? I'm telling you how I would do things in each and every one of these examples. This is not how you should do things. But I would look at that candle, I'd go, I've got a big problem here because the demand that should have been in the market there ran away, and that does concern me. So perhaps we're potentially out 2/3 here, which means if I copy and paste this, probably, I would say we're at the most 1/3 remaining on Latin Resources. And some of you say, no, Carl, this is a great company. It's got a great project. I want to hang in there. And that's fine with me. I don't mind. You do what you got to do. I'm just telling you, based upon my experience and my technical model, this is what I would be doing. I've still got a little bit of skin in the game because of this. Still got an uptrend there, and we've still got a nice uptrend here. And I can add to that position, that remaining 1/3, that remaining little bit of risk, I can add to it if it starts to go back up again. But if it plunges, I'll be glad that I got out a couple of thirds just about near the top. That's not so bad. And Flaman's final request here is for Delta Lithium. Really the trilogy there, I think, of the most popular lithium stocks very recently. Well done. I still think, well, no, we've got problems here. And look, I think the last time we covered this here, I said if it closed at 97 or better, closed at 96, there you go. That would have been plus 1/3. So that would not have occurred. Minus 1/3 on a close beneath this level here. I'll give you the number there, 83 cents. So generally I'm going to take a cent or two beneath that. So let's just put the arrow where it should probably be. No, look, if I went 81, I think that's probably pretty reasonable. It hasn't closed beneath it yet. So I still think we're okay on this one. There actually, to be fair, let's watch where it closes today. The problem with today's close, and I just wouldn't have had this data point the last time we looked at it. That's all. I can't tell the future, but there is a potential data point here where we need to be a little bit cautious of. So if I can maybe just do that. There we go. That's the one I want. So just the fact that we're closing beneath this point of demand is an issue for me. So for those who are wondering what the hell is going on because you've tuned in for the very first time in your life, I will try and enlighten you as to some of the things we look for here. So POS stands for point of supply. How do you know it's a point of supply? Well, the price fell from there. Do you mind if I just get rid of this 97 or better here, just in my way, and it's not letting me do it? Let me try that. Okay, let's not get rid of the 97 or better because it doesn't want to go anywhere. But the point of supply is in there. I'm not sure why. Maybe if I do that, there we go. Go away. And let's go soon. And let's come back in here. There we go. So point of supply, price went down from there. It's the highest point between a short-term uptrend on the left-hand side, which is a series of higher highs and higher lows. Yep. And then the short-term downtrend on the right-hand side. Now this candle here didn't start the short-term downtrend because whilst it has a lower high, it doesn't have a lower low. Here, it's still an inside bar. So the short-term downtrend hasn't begun. Here, I have a lower high and a lower low, and therefore the short-term downtrend has begun, and it confirms this as a point of supply. Then we have the same methodology to confirm this point here as another point of supply, and I'll leave that one green because supply is red and demand is green if you didn't know. And what we don't want to see is building supply. Supply is building. That's our interpretation from the chart at least, or the manifestation, there's a great word, of building supply in the chart. I use that word quite often in these sessions if you're uninitiated. That manifestation, what does it mean? The appearance, the working of, the influence of supply in the market. We can see how increasing supply is manifesting in the chart by the fact that this point of supply is lower than this one. The only way that this point of supply here, let's call this one 1 and let's call this one 0. Okay. The only way point of supply 1 can be lower than point of supply 0 is if supply increased and or demand decreased, and neither of those are good scenarios for your company. What we don't want to see, does that mean we jump out straight away? I mean, when do we get it? We got it here. Look at this candle here. So is this candle here was the one we saw. Okay, well, I've got a lower point of supply. Do we jump out straight away? You could. Hey, what's your model? What's my model? I don't know. Maybe that's your model. Wasn't a great candle. Pretty awful. Pretty good indication the next candle would be down. But I prefer to wait until we get beneath that point of demand. And that low there is 85.5. Let's call it maybe an 84.5. I don't, or an 84. You have your way of doing things. I would say, actually, that's not where I want to go. 84 and 84 on the arrow. And close beneath there. And today we're staring at it. So this is the last candle. You can see it's the 25th of July. That's the live candle. I don't know where it's going to close because I don't know the future. I can't see at 3:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time what the price will be. But my model would suggest if we close beneath that red arrow, then it's a minus 1/3. So let's go put that one there. And then you could save your final 1/3 to here. Okay, so if you got in, maybe even got in here, I think that's a great candle to get in. You might say, hey, Carl, it wasn't a great candle to get in because the price didn't go up from there. And I say, look, I can tell you that more often than not, you see a big white candle like that in a nice uptrend, you buy it and you don't ask any questions. That's what I would suggest. It didn't turn out this time, but at least we've got a roadmap. You can see here, I reckon that one's there. I reckon that was for there. What's this one minus 1/3? I'm not sure. All I can see is plus 1/3 here. I'm going to change it. Not that we did it. All right, just to understand that that's what I'm talking about. I don't think that's a minus 1/3. I had this problem last time I looked at it, didn't I? Oh, it's this candle here. I'm just trying to remember what I did last time. See this candle here? I'm just redrawing the arrow. See that one there? So I have in the past, it looks like, drawn that in. And if you had done this one, look at that. Just to give you an idea of how the model works. Hey, I'm not investing for a long time. I'm trying to invest for a good time. It might suit what you want to do. It might not suit what you want to do. You might want to have a 5-year investment horizon. That's your business. I suggest if it is, you probably don't belong here. But you can see this. I think that's an amazing candle to buy. And then the combination of this candle, and that's why that had the minus 1/3 on it. Okay. But the combination of that candle, there's your minus 1/3. So you're probably out a third there. And then out a third here, and you've probably only got plus 1/3 remaining. Okay. Let me move that over there. Nope, there's one here as well. Okay, let me leave that one there. Don't know why I put that there, but that's where we are right now. Okay. So, and where's the final third going to go? That's where the final third. Let me just put that in. Okay. I know I've spent a bit of time on these three here, but they should serve as great case studies moving forward. And I'm sure many of you probably were wondering about those. Look, while I'm in this space, let me quickly go through some of these other ones. I can do them very quickly. Oh my gosh, Argosy, what a disaster. And, this is one we've consistently said you should think about avoiding. Again, it's always general advice, but it's one I've consistently said that I would not touch, and it has been one of the worst ones out there. No surprise. Is it a bargain now? Hey, Carl, it must be a bargain now, surely. No, not for me. All I can see is what the market is doing right now, which is there's excess supply in the short term. There's more supply, less demand, excess supply, and excess supply in the long term. So the short-term traders are more than happy to supply, less than happy to demand, and that's the same now for the long-term traders. The big black candles tell me that there is very much momentum to the downside. This last little candle is encouraging, but nowhere near enough within the context of all that other bad stuff to get me in to buy. So that is a 0% for me, a buy indication, 0% buy indication. It's probably a 99% sell indication and a 1% just from that last little white candle as a hold indication. Allkem is one we've been positive on in the past. Why? Because it's been one of the few ones that has been maintaining just a wonderful uptrend. But you can see through here, and again, you have to do you. I can't do you, I can only do me. But you can see in the past where we were looking, if it closes beneath that point of supply, we're looking to lighten our risk. Not necessarily to get out of all of our shares, but just to take some risk off the table. So that would have occurred here. Okay, and right now it's still a hold, especially if it closes with a nice candle like that. That's a really good candle. That's a really encouraging candle that the long-term trend is still holding. It's still intact, and therefore we can continue to have some skin in the game. It's not warranted to be completely out of this one just yet. Okay, but you can see we talked about how these the momentum changes, and again, you can think a particular company is the best in the world, but these technicals are telling you, doesn't matter what you think, It matters what everybody else is doing. And everybody else is doing something different from what you think. You need to be careful. I can certainly hold some. Now, where do we get out the rest? If it all goes pear-shaped from here, I'd be watching for a rally into this zone, potentially. And if I saw the wrong candles, I'll talk about what they are in a second, in there, that would, for me, constitute the next minus 1/3. So if we go here, and this will really give you an anatomy of how to exit a trade with confidence. Then we go here, and then the next one will be down there, because if we get to there and fail, this will form a pod. I know we're looking into the future, but I want you to visualize this. So much of technical analysis is visualizing what could occur. So if we get, if this turns out to be a pod, because we get a higher high and a higher low tomorrow, this will be a pod, and then we're watching for another POS in here. Why in here? Because that's where the short-term trend zone is probably going to be catching up to. We notice on the way up, the short-term trend zone, look at that, offering dynamic support on the way up. You will find on the way down, it will start to offer dynamic supply, dynamic resistance. And that's where I'll be watching for the wrong candles. What do the wrong candles look like? Well, they're probably going to be black. They're going to look something like this, something like this, or something like this, or something like this. What's the one with an upper shadow? Maybe even something like that. Might even have a white body, but it'll have a big upper shadow, something like that. If I see the something like that's in this zone around here, it's going to be a pink zone there any second, in around there. That's when I'd be looking to do the next minus 1/3, and certainly beneath here, it's all over Red Rover. This can't continue to hold Allkem based upon my model. You can do whatever you want to do. Core, and again, I'm only mentioning this for 30 seconds, it's one of the ones we've been extremely negative towards, because the trends haven't been there, and all the people who were prepared to tell me that Core has some great assets. I don't know. Maybe it does, but the market doesn't agree with you. Is it a bargain there? I don't know. I can't see the future. But what I can say is I need this pink to be green. I need this pink to be at least amber, and I can't see those, and therefore I can't buy it. This is very low on my buy percentage indication. I've done Delta, or this. I'll just do this one because it's one we've looked at, not that one, GL1. It hasn't gone our way. I thought maybe here it was starting to look good. It just didn't get the right candles. If you did get on that one, you probably didn't. I don't know if you did, but I can't. Geez, at plus 1/3 at most, maybe on that one, because you've had a bunch of black candles in there. I'm trying to remember some of these off the top of my head now, and I should have done that first. Let me go to just trying to do them alphabetically for you. LRS we've done, LTR, there you go, minus 1/3. We just hasn't been enough interest in this chart for us to be aggressively holding it or owning it. Mineral Resources has surprised me. They got a little bit of a pop there on the back of pulling out of that deal, I think, with Albemarle. Almost started to look half decent, I would suggest. And if this was a big white candle, it probably would have gone plus 1/3. It wasn't. And then followed by the big black candle. It's really in trend. And all we've said on this recently is out. I mean, there's been lots of outs through here and just really being neutral on it. Today's candle's encouraging, but close near the high, and you do have it. That's pretty solid. But if you do have it, I'd be concerned. I'd really be concerned if it closes beneath this level. I think that's getting pretty close to the lights out level for Mineral Resources, but let's continue to monitor it. I can be at best neutral on that up to this stage. I'm certainly not a buy. We should talk about IGO, which you can see here. We've drawn levels here, minus 1/3 on a close beneath that level, minus 1/3 on a close beneath that level. It's hard for me to see a situation, especially after that gap, where you'd still be owning some IGO. That's just based upon my model. And then we're going to go to Pilbara Minerals, which I tweeted about yesterday, and you can see the same sort of scratchings on the chart. A close beneath this level here, which it has done, and a close beneath here, which is done. I know today's candle looks good, and it would be frustrating if you enacted those, because you think, oh no, I've got out the bottom. But it's just about saying this doesn't happen because it's good, right? This doesn't happen because of all those underlying fundamental drivers are good. It happens because people want to get the hell out. They want to get the hell out because they've seen something they don't like. So yes, it might rally, but I still think you want to be heading out the door on Pilbara Resources. If you've got a little bit of skin in the game, okay, maybe on the basis of this, but I just think you want to be heading out the door. I don't hate Pilbara. I don't hate lithium. I've called lithium stocks buys many times. That's PMT. There you go. This is minus 1/3 on a close beneath there, and I think that would have served you quite well. And again, you can see how momentum changes, even for the hottest of hottest stocks. They cannot withstand, they cannot escape the fact that all charts represent is just how demand and supply changes, and this stuff can't happen unless the equilibrium is moving against a particular company. Okay, so I think that one speaks for itself, that chart. And let's do SYA, which I can do in just a few seconds, because once again, I have just been so consistent on the lack of reason behind owning this, and that has obviously been a very sensible thing not to do, that is not to own it. Vulcan we looked at last week, looked half decent, I think, with this candle here. I think that's about as far as I got, and I drew that arrow right there, which said I can't do anything until that picks up. It's still a pass from me. Doesn't look maybe as bad as some of the other ones in the very short term, but I'm still worried about that long-term trend. And then we've got WR1, which is not showing up on that list. For what? Oh, there it is. I lie. There it is. Nothing to see there. There is one here that came up on my shortlist so far today. I don't know what these guys do. Somebody tweet, just send me the message here. What the hell do these guys do? That is my favorite chart today. It looks amazing. Of course, it all depends on where it closes, and on a high close, it's currently trading at 624. Around that sort of level, I'd be happy to go plus 1/3. I think on this day, I've even said, okay, this sort of here, plus 1/3 on a close on the high. Doesn't look like it did it, but let me copy and paste that over here. I think that's looking very good. It's actually gone up since I took that snapshot earlier on. Somebody will tell me it's rare earths, neodymium, praseodymium, perhaps. Eric, thanks for letting me know. But honestly, I don't care. Okay, that is the lithium sector review for this week. Let us move to the rest of your requests. And Hanelli has been very patient. We're going to go as far away from lithium as you probably can get, to TPW, which has had a nice little pop recently. You can see through here, you can see this little plus 1/3 there. I've tweeted about it. It's been my feature chart many times. And just through here, I think that's the best. That's the most amazing candle there. I really love that one. That's the perfect little one. That is a good one. Even this one here is also a good one. Just showing you points where I would have loved to have been adding some risk to this one, and certainly up to that candle, pretty happy with it. Looks like that's the one we looked at. It didn't quite close on the high. Maybe you got in, maybe you didn't. I'm guessing that's associated with that, I'm guessing. Change the color there so we can actually see that one. Plus 1/3 in there. So as recently as last week, adding some risk. And look, it hasn't done a whole lot. It was looking good yesterday. It's been sort of dragged back by the rest of the lousiness in the market. I don't think there's a clear indication to sell it here. Not a great candle, but I don't think there's enough in it just there to be doing anything with it, to be honest. This is all still very good. This is a great short-term trend. The long-term trend is improving. You can see how the model works, the traffic light system, where green is good. Through here, when we're going amber, we've got some problems. Okay, no, it's not so much a problem to be in the zone. That's what the zone's there for. It's there to push and support price up, and that's a silly thing to say. It's a silly thing to think that my trend ribbon pushes the price up. That's the most absurd thing I will ever tell you. Hey, everybody, my trend ribbon pushes the market up. It doesn't. It doesn't. It just happens. The problem with the trend ribbon when you're changing is not so much the amber. Certainly amber's bad. It's when you break beneath it quite decisively. You can see the black candles through here, and then you go up and you test it. And we talked about one earlier on where I said I'd watch in that place. Which one was it? I can't remember. Maybe Allkem. And I said, watch out. I said, watch out, okay, for the black candles in and around the short-term trend zone. Remember I said the short-term trend was supporting on the way up. I'm talking about the short-term trend now, was supporting on the way up. But on the way down, watch out if it starts to impede. And we got the confluence here of that short-term trend impeding, and then the long-term trend also went from its support to impeding. And this is the big problem. This is when you say unequivocally, for me, that bull trend that Temple & Webster was in for so many years right, is over, and then it's really until you get the confirmation that the bear trend has begun. But I think it's pretty obvious through here we've got some problems. So that is the traffic light system. Now, the opposite of this is what I want to talk about, because if you literally take this and turn everything upside down, switch every black candle to a white candle, and all the pinks to greens, this is what happens. We go from where the long-term trend zone, and here I could be so arrogant to say that my trend zone pushes prices down, doesn't it? It doesn't, of course. It just happens to work that way. Pushes prices down in a downtrend. But when we get above it, we pull back and we hold it with some of these nice white candles. That's the good sign. Okay, and that's why we switch from sell to buy. And of course, most people watching, that's the key, isn't it? That's what you really want to know is, look, something's crashed. It was good. Now it's not so good. When can I buy it when it's cheap? And my model tells me when I can do that. It says, like right down here, and we looked at some lithium stocks today, and some people go, oh, they're really cheap. You know, maybe we're down here. I don't know. I can't see the future, but I cannot be buying there. And you'll fast forward to today and say, Carl, that was the perfect time to buy. If you just held on, they were the lows. I don't know that. I need to see the balance of supply demand shift enough to tell me it's safer to get back in. Not safe, but safer to get back in. A happy holder on that one. I can't see a reason to get out. Let's keep moving now. Let's go MRM. Oh, what a wonderful chart that is. This one is from Perry. I should have known. I'm not so sure about your next one though, Perry. I can see it, but it's just the death of 1,000 cuts on the next one. But let's talk about MMA Offshore. It's one, look, you know, we've looked at it many times. We've tweeted about it many times. Happy holder here. I think I started putting it back in my shortlist. If you want to correct me if I'm wrong, but I reckon that day there, I might have even put it in as a feature chart. So happy holder there. If you're in around 120, it's just such a beautiful picture. There's no reason to do anything but hang on to this one. If you don't have it, well, yesterday's candle was very good to add plus 1/3, and today's candle, I can't see why you can't. There's not enough in there to tell me not to do this. So I will go plus 1/3 on that based upon what I can see. Now, if this turns out to be a nasty little black candle, obviously, you wouldn't do the plus 1/3. You might just give it another day and just wait for the next white candle. Okay, so watch that candle. That goes for everything. Every time I ever write a plus 1/3, okay, on the Tuesday sessions, because the market is open. We don't have the problem on Fridays. And Fridays, the market's closed. That's when we do USA stocks. But on Tuesdays, you have to understand, show some sense, common sense here. And if we're getting into that sort of 350 time with 10 minutes to go, the candle's still looking good, I'm okay with it. The candles are reversed, you know what to do or what not to do in that regard. Perry's next one is FEX. And actually what I might do is head over here. I would love to head over here and have a look at the company valuation for MMA Offshore, because I'm pretty sure we've got some MRM, I should say, which is MMA Offshore. Pretty sure we've got some broker coverage here. Again, for the uninitiated, this is the Thomson Reuters Refinitiv Icons spreadsheet. It's part their spreadsheet. It started out as their spreadsheet, but I've turned it into my own because I've added so much stuff to it. And the goal is to take the broker consensus, which is all of one broker, I guess that's a consensus, and use their consensus estimates to work out a fair value for the company. Now, this one broker, I don't know who they are, they have a price target of $1.44 on MRM, which allows 12.5% upside. Obviously, if they're covering it because it's a buy, strong buy in this case. We head to the EPS line. We can see it's negative, but getting smaller negative to the point that we expect, and this is in the bag, let's face it, we're about to hear about it, that we're going to see 4 cents per share earnings and then up to 4.7 next year, which gives it a little bit of growth here. It's a pretty high PE though, isn't it? It's not the cheapest stock, but there's enough in it based upon the current PE and the growth that I have to suggest that my target, lo and behold, is not that much different from this broker at about 150. And I'm not looking to pinpoint the valuation because that is dumb. Let me tell you, saying a company is worth $1.44 or $1.50 is just dumb. Because how the hell can you possibly know? Oh, but Carl, it's got a moat. Carl, the moat. I implore you. Despite the most incredible moat that this company might have, it's just silly with all the moving parts in a valuation to say it's worth X. All I'm doing here is to say, look, I can't see any red flags that would prevent me from following what is a really nice looking chart. Okay, And it's not how I do my analysis, because I don't care about the fundamental valuation. I do that in these sessions because it makes some people a bit happy, okay? They feel a bit happy. They got the little fundamental valuation, makes them feel better. But that's okay. It's this, look, don't feel bad if you like the fundamentals, okay? Don't let me make you feel bad about it. I'm all technicals, but hey, some people like to see that stuff, and that's why I do it. And if you're, again, uninitiated, I don't do it for all the stocks in these sessions. I just do it on the ones we think we might buy. Why would you run a fundamental valuation on a stock in a bleeding great big downtrend? You wouldn't. And that's how the technicals and fundamentals come together. Look at that. The yin and the yang working in harmony. Capolingua, Sodi perhaps. Could you imagine the two of us managing a fund together? That would just be a marriage made in heaven. And if you want to see that, maybe just send me a message here, or maybe put it on your socials that we can, you know what? It's like Palestinians hugging the Jews. It could happen. You never know. Let us keep going here. On FEX, this is Perry's second pick. I like it, Perry. I don't think it's bad. In fact, I think last week I said you could buy it if you're a sucker for punishment. Like if you love pain, this is a stock you buy. It's just going to be a very slow move, probably to 36 cents. But hey, reiterating what I said on that yesterday. I should get to some streamers before I go too much further down the track. So hold on while I click the right buttons to make that happen. You've all been very patient. I do need to do a coal sector review, because I've had a couple of requests here, one from Kirsty, who's asked about Whitehaven Coal, and also one from someone else on Twitter. I can't remember your name, but you did ask about it. So let's go to Whitehaven first. They've both asked about Whitehaven, and I think this actually looks very good. And if you don't believe me that Carl the Leopard is changing his spots on this one, let me go to my shortlist, so that's my scanned results for today. And I ran this sort of at midday, and then I've done my shortlist, and there it is, Whitehaven Coal coming up on my shortlist. I shortlisted New Hope not because I think it's yet time to buy, but I just wanted to come back and have another look at that chart. I'm going to do that now. So let's go to Whitehaven first. Oh, and actually CRN is in there as well. Okay, so what does that tell you? I don't hate coal. I've never hated coal. Okay, I just haven't liked it while it's been in a downtrend. But don't forget, I banged the desk all the way through here about buying. I was all over the place. Twitter shortlist every day. Okay, people get me all confused sometimes because I say, I don't like something. I don't like the chart. Okay, this is starting to look good again. Why is this starting to look good again? Let's have a look at some of the price action here. So do that one like that. Let's escape that. Try again. So we're going to go from here to here to here to here to show that we do have rising peaks and troughs. That's very good. I like the separation in there. There's a short pullback phase versus a strong motive phase. Little move through a little congestion zone through here, which is really sort of showing some suffering from that point of supply. A nice move off the low. I think that's good. There's some good candles in there as well. We can see that the short-term trend, I know I've done this back to front, the short-term trend is up. The long-term trend has gone from impeding price action, hopefully, and maybe this is where I do get involved, is where it starts to support price action. So this long-term trend is going to be here, right? Amber's fine for me. And it was, the reason why I've been quite negative on it is because I talked to you about this idea that when you go from green to amber and you fail, that's usually a problem. In fact, really from when it started to go amber at $8, $8.50, down to $5.50 is a pretty substantial decline. Can I buy it today? This is the million-dollar question. Okay, I'm going to draw that. That's the thing I'm going to draw next, right? So I have to. And I'm also going to type in POS there. And we're having a look at it. The gut says just something like this, just a little scenario like that. It doesn't have to pull back all the way even, but even just a little black candle or, something with a black candle, lower shadow in here, I think you can go. I think you can go on it. Adding a third, just starting to dip our toe in the water, and it might then pop through, pull back, and you get another third here, and maybe it'll be 8.20 by the time you're in a full position. But it is definitely on my list. If you were more of a risk taker, and you were a coal bull, or you're obsessed with coal because somebody told you it was good, maybe you could go plus 130 if you get a solid close today. But I think you're just going in advance of that point of supply. But I'm starting to get obviously far more positive on these than I was before. Let's look at New Hope. The reason why I thought Whitehaven looked better is because you can see, I think the long-term trend is a bit sort of flatter, is it? Where's it gone? There it is there. No, ho-hum. Same. Point of supply here, obviously, is what the issue is. And I'm going to go ditto on that. I love the candles. I think they look amazing. And this isn't even a pullback. This is all one move up. So let's just any little test. Let's see how the supply side responds, and then let's see how the demand side responds to them. Any little shallow pullback with another move could be your chance to go do a question mark because I haven't seen it yet, plus 1/3, and it's highly contingent on a bunch of candles and things happening, right? But yeah, I've moved clearly from not wanting to own them to being more than happy to hold them, to even starting to think about buying them. And let's go to CRN, which has done very well, in fact, moving above its long-term downtrend. I couldn't see the plus 130 in there. Maybe this is it here, but I think that's too early, and it hasn't pulled back. So to buy this one, I think it's more of a waiting for any sort of test of the supply in the market, test of the demand of the market, and then the right candles, the right candles, the white candle, the lower shadow, to have another go. Anyway, I say, hey, Carl, you completely missed that. Yeah, look, I did. I mean, I certainly wasn't telling you to buy at 130. I wasn't even telling you to buy it at 160 because it just didn't set up the way I needed it to set up. Oh well. Let us go to who we're going to go to now. DUR, which looks very good, and that's also, if you don't believe me, there it is there. I can go to the shortlist. Happy holder. I don't think there's a lot to do there. It's just, ride the trend until it bends, and it's not bending yet. So happy holder there. I don't think I need to add any more to it. What I will do, because I don't think I've done this on this one, the spreadsheet tends to conk out, and it's usually the spreadsheet stopped working by now, hasn't it? By 11:36. The spreadsheet is still working. There's just no coverage. Okay, so let's keep moving on that one. I can only give you coverage on what the brokers have given coverage on. Okay, that's not up to me. And then the other one you've asked for here, this is RUPAM, is a DRO, which is in the scan results, right? But I didn't shortlist it because this candle is not good enough for me to allow me to shortlist it. It's one I did talk about last time. I think it was on this candle here, and I said, look, I'm not interested. I said, look, the trends are turning. I'm not interested. I just think it's going to be really hard work. And look what happened the next day. And somebody tweeted back at me, ha ha, Carl, ha ha, ha. All right. And because, you don't normally expect to see, and if you've done this for any length of time, and many of you have been watching for a while, you know that this candle here, I'm talking about this one here, and this one here, it's pretty rare, let's face it, to see that giant white candle the day after that one, isn't it? Okay. Did I shortlist it on this day? I don't know. I definitely didn't make it a feature chart. I might have shortlisted it because I wouldn't have bought. I personally, there you go. That's what I said. I only ever trade the stock if you love pain. I just think the posse and the posse are still issues. And I think if you were to get 40 to 42 cents for this, I think you've done very well out of it. And I think you might want to take some risk off the table. I can hold it. I'm not a buyer right now. RUPAM. Not my thing. Pain. I want happiness. Pursuit of happiness. Somehow ended up there, which is just showing you that chart again. I only got there because I was in the wrong list. I get to Woodside, which is the request here. What did we say last time? We said plus 1/3. Oh, well, that was quite clever, wasn't it? So up it's gone. Pure luck. Nothing more than that. Because I can't make the market do what I want it to do, and I can't know what's going to happen next. So you have to understand, you kind of have to decide. You have to be a little bit humble here. And if you get something right, it is actually pure luck when you think about it. I don't think you can say if you get it wrong, it's bad luck, but it is pure luck. Because everything is unknown, any outcome is therefore a happenstance of the universe. Is that a word, happenstance? So don't say, oh, that was a great trade by me. The universe turned out to give you a profit. That's all. Like, whoop-de-doo. It doesn't mean it's going to do it next time. We've got a bit of a pause here. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. would you take some off the table if you bought some last week? I think the candles are pretty strong. I don't think this candle today suggests that we're worried about that. If we saw another big black candle, so see this candle here, I see that one there. If we saw it up here, then I think you could minus 1/3. Okay. But otherwise, write it in there so we don't get confused about it next time. But if you saw that candle there, then you could minus 1/3. But until then, no, I don't think there's anything to do but hold it. I think we're at the start, hopefully, of a really nice breakout and uptrend. And Woodside's best friend, of course, is Santos, which I have not shortlisted. And you might say, Carl, why don't you shortlist Santos? I don't shortlist Santos. Don't expect to ever see it in any of my shortlists. Why? Because it's Santos. But it does look pretty good. So if you do have Santos, I could hold it. I'm not a buyer because I just don't like Santos. Don't take it personally, Santos. I just don't like you. There's just some people you don't get along with. Is that fair to say? Some people in life, you just never get along with them. It's Santos. MMS today's not a good day, is it, Mark? I'm not happy with today. Let us give it the benefit of the doubt. The market's not closed, but I'm just watching the low of this candle here, and that's where the demand is, and it was reinforced here. There should be plenty of demand down here, so I don't like, and we've started to see a little bit of a rally off that, so demand is coming back in, but I don't want to see it close beneath that low. That low there is 1826. Give it some room, and let's draw a little arrow for where the room might be. I could put on what the average ATR is over a period of time, but that would take too much time. But at least half an ATR is usually what you want to do beneath your. So I'm going to say the average over the last, that's an average right there. What's that not showing up in here? Very weird. Okay, that's weird. Oh, because I was clicking down here, of course. So let me go to that. What did I say was the average? That's about an average day there. So let me go there. And I don't have it. No, it's going to be 40 cents. This is all very scientific, isn't it? 40 cents divided by 2 is 20 cents. So beneath that, you might go, say, an 1806. Or you could go 17.97 if you just want to get it beneath the $18 mark. Let's try that. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as you're beneath it. That's probably too far. That feels too far. But there's a little level down here. Let me say, if we close at that low, let's go with that low, 1820. I'm just trying to give you as much as what my brain says I would do. I'm going to change that. And then I'll show you what to do with, actually, no, let me leave that. Let me copy and paste it. All right, so this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is not what we're going to do. We're not going to do anything. This is what I'm going to do. And you can do whatever you want to do, right? Because there's a very good reason for it. And I wanted to do this today just to prove to you that everything we're discussing today is general in nature. It has not taken into account your personal financial circumstances or particular needs. We recommend, that is, Think Market recommends that you seek independent financial advice before acting upon any of this general information. How about that? So let us go back here. You can tell that I had a compliance talk in Melbourne on Friday. What's giving it away, I wonder? I'm serious. I had a compliance talk, not directed at me. It was a group compliance talk about general advice. Thanks, May, from Compliance, Think Markets Compliance. So you're seeing some of the fallout from that. Not that we're doing anything wrong. It's all about making sure we're doing everything right. Let's go. I'm happy with that. 8.4. Let's go 8.4 and 8.4. All right, and let me now go copy and paste. And again, this is general advice. This is how I would handle this. I don't like that black candle, but it's not finished yet. All right. So let me do this. All right. And then if I see a close, so I'm going to go close less than, I would do that. And then also, I can just copy and paste this. And this is how simple life becomes. And if the price does those things, I will do those things. And if those were to occur, the most I would have remaining would be plus 1/3. As you know, I like to write on screens from time to time. And I will not lose any sleep, I can assure you. If both of those go off and then the next day this thing's taken over at $30, I will sleep very well that night, knowing that I just followed my model. I didn't ask any questions and I just did what I was supposed to do. Okay, let us head to the next one here. I know I'm jumping around. Mark 1's EOS, space lasers. How are we going there? Not too good. Bit of a pullback. Market hasn't been kind to us over the last week, has it? It's going to happen. This candle here, I'm not here every day, of course. That's not a great candle. In and of itself, would you have taken some action? I don't think so. And even this candle here is not enough to pull the trigger because of its lower shadow. And even that one, it's been tough. Today's kind of the one. And I would say if closes on low, if closes on low, minus 1/3. And it's frustrating. And some people may curse my name. But we're still, as far as I can tell, we haven't had any other exits on this one. So we're still plus 2/3 remaining. And you might say, Carl, why waste time? Just hang on to it. If it's going up, just hang on to it. I don't know if it's going up. I'm sorry. I have no idea what's going to happen next. ALD, Ampol from King. Quite a volatile beast. Whoa, it does. Where would you have bought it, or could you have bought it using my model? I think the key days here, because I reckon you closed above this POS, didn't you? This is the one. There's the POS there, and I think you did. I could see why you might have added a third there. There is another POS here with big question marks next to it, but the candles are so strong, and the gap I love, you know. So maybe plus 1/3 there, and that's hindsight. I didn't do it. What would you be doing now? Well, it's closing above this POS. The only problem is the next one, which is up here. When you look at sort of reward to risk, let's say you're getting in at the current price around here. And, you know, where do you set your stop loss? It's got such a clean move here. There aren't any clear points of demand, troughs to set beneath, or set a stop loss beneath. So you probably have to go there. That's the absolute closest you could possibly even contemplate going beneath that candle's shadow. Maybe you can make 1-to-1. Would I go 1/3 today? It's just too far away from my green zone for me. But I think it looks very good. If you've got it, it's a no-brainer, in my opinion, to hold it. MAF, you know, it's one of those, a little bit slow, Doug. Yeah, it was in the scan a little while ago. Again, a little bit reluctant to put these in sometimes because they can be a bit slow and steady. And I think that's probably the future of this one. It's going to ebb and flow with the bull market, isn't it, at the end of the day? Look, I can hold it. I'm certainly not a buyer because I've got all these little black candles at the end. I'm hoping that the funk, the FUNK, that this Aussie market finds itself in after looking quite promising last week. Hopefully it blows over and we can push up to those highs led by Resources, which for some reason seem to be doing very well. These BHP, like we were told from the Politburo, China Politburo meeting, and this is from their state-backed media, that we would have, precise and forceful measures. And I think that's what we're responding to today, that they would be prudent and not dynamic, proactive. They'd be prudent and proactive, the measures that are coming. They understand that the property market is what needs to be stimulated, and they understand that they have a massive debt bubble that needs to be massaged while they're trying to do it. So they're all good things. That's exactly what you want to hear. And we haven't heard rhetoric that specific and that targeted up to this point. So that is an encouraging development. But they haven't done anything. It's just talk at this stage. But certainly that's a nice little pop there on BHP. Nobody's asked about this yet as far as I can tell, but you're going to get it anyway. Rio, I'd plus 1/3 that one, right? Let's go back to BHP for a second. Would I plus 1/3 that? It's a great candle. If it closes on the high, I don't think we need to be too concerned about that. Look at the long-term trend. We've popped up, pulled back, we've tested it, we're going. I can't say, and I've been very neutral on BHP for such a long time, haven't I? I reckon I could go plus 1/3 on that. Let's go Rio. I think this one's clearer if I had to pick between the two, because look, we've taken out this point of supply, we've taken out that point of supply. This actually looks really good. So I'm going to go plus 1/3. It's, take a long-term super fund or something. Maybe that's where you might look at this. Not guaranteed to look at this. You might look at this. You might do anything you want. That's the best one of them all. And you might go plus 1/3 on that too. You might. You might do anything you want as long as you consult the help of a financial professional first. So those three looking pretty good there. Plus 1/3 on iron ore. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first in live market analysis, ASX edition from Evan, XRO, which is good because I need to do that. Jesse's asked about it as well. A bit of a pullback, 3 not great candles, but only back to our dynamic support zone. So I think we're okay. I don't like this. I don't like it when they close like that. Am I managing my risk? Little gap here. Oh. Look, where you will really consider managing your risk, I mean, really consider it as you seek the help of a financial professional first, is if we did see something like that, okay, and then beneath here. But I'm not sure if we want to panic out just yet. I'll leave this one to you. I know you don't want to hear that. You want to know exactly what Carl would do himself without actually giving you any specific advice. It's the lack of lower shadows, the lack of, the black candle, lack of demand. Where did they all just disappear, evaporate into? But it is still a very good trend. I'm just this far a whisker away from going minus 1/3 on that one because of the strength of the trends. Okay. And let us go to the other one that Jesse was asking for, which is HLO, which was starting to look very good and still looks very good. Okay, that's a bit of a sigh of relief. I definitely feature charted this during the week last week. No reason to do anything but hold. I love all those white candles, and that's what I want to see. So a great segue from XRO to HLO. White candles make me happy. Black candles make me sad, if I'm long, that is. Wisetech from Evan also. I think it's fine. It's a white candle on that one. Happy holder. If I've got Xero and I've got Wisetech, I'm far more comfortable with my Xero position, obviously, for obvious reasons that I am with Wisetech. Wonderful trends, wonderful price action. Still good price action. I know we've got a little, maybe a lower blip here, but that's not a point of supply yet because we haven't had the lower high. It's all good. Where would I start to just show a little bit of concern? Ideally, in an ideal world, you don't see it trade beneath that little trough now. We don't want to see that. That wouldn't be great. And certainly, bigger picture, we're really starting to manage our risk, certainly on a close beneath here. Okay. I think, look, I think you can. Obviously, likewise, start to monitor these. I know I'm not here every Tuesday, so I just want you to have some idea of what the model would be saying. And then you'd go plus 1/3 remaining. I just don't like to be all out of a great trend. Hey, you're still in it. You're not doing any of those things right now, as far as I can see. Neil, with his usual gobbledygook. Thanks, Neil. Taking salt, Allkem, well done. Rich and Lisa asking about FEX, which I have talked about. Let's go to IGO. I've talked about that. Neil's out of that one as well. Leonardo saying FEX is going up for the next month. Well, it's another one of those iron ore companies, isn't it? So it's going up in response. So there I am rabbiting on about BHP, Rio, and Fortescue, and maybe denigrating FEX. But why wouldn't you just buy Rio, BHP, and Fortescue? They've got way more iron ore than FEX does, and they've got a much longer, asset life than FEX, whose mine I think is going to run out in about that long, isn't it? Leonardo responding to Rich Lisa, which I think is wonderful. Talk amongst yourselves. You don't even need me here. I think I'm quite serious. I hope hopefully we're building some sort of community here. We will all get along. And what was wonderful at the event on Saturday, normally you walk into the room, you put on some music or something in the background, or you play a video. I didn't have to. Everybody was just talking to each other. It was like a goosebumps. It's just talking about markets and talking about the strategy and their own strategies, and how to build my ribbons on TradeView was definitely a big topic of conversation. RUL. This is the one I reluctantly said buy. Look, again, and reluctantly because look at the price action, and the leopard doesn't really change its spots. But I'll stand by what I said. These aren't great candles. It's a sketchy chart at best. You have to expect. I wouldn't expect it on Xero, big liquid company, but I do expect it here. And this is why I say some companies are hard work and they're going to be paying. I would put this one into the category. I can go a hold. I think your key level's down here. I wouldn't like to see it close beneath that, but it could, just on the basis that it's so illiquid. It wouldn't take much for that to occur. But that is the important level for me. I can go hold in the meantime. It's not a buy based upon that chart or based upon what anybody else says about it, in my opinion. LOV, look at this. Last time we looked at it, we said watch out for this level, probably just getting you up to a point where you can sell it again. It hasn't done well since then. I can't own this for obvious reasons. The short-term trends, long-term trends are not yet in putting me in a position where I can feel confident that supply is again overwhelming demand. I don't think it is. In fact, if anything, I think supply is still very much in control of this market. We're seeing a bit of a rally where supply may well take over in that zone. I'm not a buyer on this. If you've got it, I can see a path to holding it, but only because of this short-term rally. If this short-term rally was to dissipate, and the way it could dissipate is by showing those arrows again. So something like this, that would be then dissuading me from even going a hold on Lovisa. Those two were for you. Rorty Dog. Hello, Rorty Dog. Let me go back to stop typing in any new ones because I won't be able to get to them. I know that Leonardo has got the last one there, and I know that Barry's got the last one there, so don't even try to put in something new. And I will fast forward here and try to get everybody's questions answered. Let's go back to the Zoomers for Hanelli Linus LYC, a bit of rare earth action here. I don't know. I think I said if we get the big white candle, you can do plus 1/3. Maybe we did, but that 1/3. Look at this. I think we all agree. Does anybody not agree with me? And it's not a rhetorical question, but does anybody not agree with me? Because if we all agree that that's your minus 1/3 candle for that plus 1/3, and you're out of it now, then we're making good progress here. If some of us are saying, no, Carl, it's got a great project and a huge moat, and at that day it was not the place to minus 1/3, then we're not agreeing. We've got problems, but there's been no reason to own it since then, unfortunately. No reason to own it now. It could be up $10 tomorrow, I don't know, but I will still put my hand on my heart and say I can't see any reason to own Linus right now. I can't tell the future. But what I can tell you is what other people are thinking about it and how they're voting with their money and their stock, and that's what the chart is. CWP, now again, this is a little bit of a painful one. Again, if you like pain, I guess you could buy it because it does have a short-term uptrend, a long-term uptrend. But if it does go up even, look at mean 5. If it sketches itself up to 540, what's that, 8%? If it sketches itself up to 40 over the next 3 months, I can see a reason to hold it if you like pain. It's just not my sort of thing, unfortunately, as far as a buy goes. This one is from Anonymous. Anonymous, put your name in next time, not that hard. National Australia Bank. There you go. There you go. My trend ribbon has pushed NAB down. Officially, I'm saying it. My trend ribbon has pushed NAB down. Now, I don't think this is all that bad. The black candles aren't great, but if we can find a way to throw in maybe a lower shadow pointing that way and then to push back up with a nice big white candle, this could start to look interesting. And I might even consider it if it was to sort of turn that long-term trend to amber. But right now, at best, I can go as a hold. But I am concerned that my long-term trend ribbon has pushed the NAB price down. TLX, it was starting to look good again here, isn't it? I think even on this candle, it was starting to look very good. I can't see the future. That is, unfortunately, a bit of a deal breaker for me. I know it's actually come back really well, hasn't it? With 1, 2, 3 really solid candles. Gets me to a hold at best, but I think if it closes next beneath here, so close less than, for me, I think I think we're all done there, aren't we? I think that's your last. You know how we'll often say, look, keep a third, it's still a good trend. I think beneath there, I think you're all done on this one. So I don't know how much you've got left. That's up to you. I'm sure, no doubt, you've taken some risk off the table. That big black candle is a great reason to do so. But certainly beneath that next low, we've got some big problems for Horatio. EML, which was starting to look good today. It's frustrating, I know. So much promise built into that Aussie market last week, and towards the end of last week, and then the last few sessions have really been tough. I can still go a hold. I would be sort of, if today's close is all the way at the lows, it's not great. We don't have any sort of clear pods until there, which is tough. And then maybe one under there underneath that candle. I can go hold. I just need to see more price action before I give you an exit. But clearly, we are, again, going to be watching for this sort of stuff. Okay, and if we get points of demand, we can start to work exits around. Until then, we just hope that the turning of this is happening. It's one of those. Maybe I've gone a bit early on, and that is possible. That is possible. AGL. Look at that, the stairway to heaven. And, I know many of you have bought this. I do know that for a fact, because I do have conversations with you on various social channels. And wonderful. But are you starting to kind of get this feeling that, and I would never recommend this, but, AGL was the only one you really needed, isn't it? I mean, because it had the best chart. And you can't have a one-stock portfolio. I'm not advocating for that, but maybe just finding charts that do look that good instead of going for a CWP. I'm not trying to single you out there, Hanelli, but this is the one. These are the types of charts that can really move. I'm a happy holder there. I know that last candle was black, but it's certainly not black enough to get me out of this one at any stage. Very, very happy with that one. KGN, have a look at that for a little while. We're getting a little bit of a pullback. It's going to happen. Nothing can go up in a straight line. And you know the way I work. Even white candles, I'm still a buy. I know it's beneath that right now. Did we get a little point of supply here? Look, I think we did actually. No, we didn't. That's all the same because we've gone inside, and then up again. So it's all still part of the uptrend, which gives me one POS. It's just the way it works. But then today confirms that as a POS, and I know it feels like that's another point of supply. Today's lower shadow is encouraging. Let's hope it continues to develop, as in that lower shadow grows to give us a much smaller black body or even a white body by the end of the day. It's showing us that there is some demand under here. You can see the demand was there. How do you know demand was there? Look at that big white candle. Of course demand was there. It's showing you demand is still there, and that's encouraging. I wouldn't like to see it close all the way in the low. I would say if close low less than whatever that candle's low is, then I think you would take some precautions on this. I know we've had a good run on it, and that low there is, say, 573, so we could say like a 569 or something. That's where I would be looking to do some work on this one. Otherwise, I'm going to hold it in the meantime. Okay, that's what I would do. You can do whatever you need to do. ALL is very sideways. Really no interest from me on that one, Marco. It's just in the too hard basket. And Nick saying, I asked the question in chat. Nick, I'll get to your chat as well. Sorry, I've got, as you can imagine, plenty of incoming requests here. MEI still looks okay. Just start to be a little bit careful, though. I don't like this candle here, Nick, so be careful with that one. We didn't see huge showing back here. That's good, but then it ended in a black, and supply is back in the market, unfortunately. So what I can see here quite clearly is this and this, which therefore definitively makes this. And for me, I don't want to see it do that, which means this. If it closes, that's the 22.5. I'm going to say, like a 20, 21.5. So that's what it's going to look like. Then I would go, say, close less than, not less than, I think that's already, well, I think close 21.5 minus 1/3. That's what I would do. Okay. So hopefully that satisfies you on that one. AW1, which is okay for now. This is the most almighty, wonderful candle. Again, specs just haven't been able to go on with it, have they? For the last 1, 2, 3, and today, 4th session, we've seen a bit of that risk on come out of the market. But with, I think, again, clearly defined POS, and POD, we can do something very similar here. I won't give you the numbers, but I think you can figure it out. I'll just say, close less than minus 1/3. Is there a reason to do more than that just on this? No, I don't think there is. So let me just see how we go if and when we get there. But hopefully we don't. I'm still happy with this, Nick. That's all heading in the right direction. Let us go to some more of the chats here. Is there a link to the 22 July session? Not yet, Marco. Hopefully we can take it round the country as well. I'm pushing hard for it, but we need to get budget from Think Markets. Probably get more budget if you start opening accounts and putting some money in those accounts. That would help us get budget. AZS. Yesterday's candle, I think, was enough to take the precaution. And if you haven't done it yet, even, today's candle's enough to just hang in there. It's tricky. Look, these two candles are equal and opposite. super cautious then. Okay, you're going to just any sniff of a bearish candle, any sniff of a black body upper shadow, you might activate that 1/3 if you didn't do it, right? Because ordinarily I'd go, well, I don't like that candle. It's a big black candle and it's close beneath this. Well, it actually didn't close all the way beneath that demand candle, to be fair. It closed beneath the white part of it, but not the bottom. So maybe that just hung in there. If you're not sure what I'm looking at, it's this one here. Okay, so it actually held that, to be fair. So let's give that the benefit of the doubt, and today's candle is still fine. So therefore, let us go hold. But this candle's low now, I think, is extremely important, and we don't want to see. So we can just go close less than. We're taking a few precautionary measures here on the markets. It's not a wholesale panic at all, but taking some risk off the table, keeping some powder dry just in case there is a bit of a pullback. We're going to have some cash ready to take advantage of it potentially. That was for Eric. I can see some conversations through there. I've done WA1, SMR, Sayona Resources, a good coal stock. Yeah, let's talk about it. Looks okay. I don't think I'm buying it. I think it's too early, a bit like those other coal stocks. What I need to see, I want to see it get above the long-term uptrend. I want to see it hold the long-term uptrend. I want to see it bounce off that and potentially somewhere in this light green zone, which is about to appear on screen. If I saw the white candles, bright white candles, I could do something with it. But I'm a happy holder until then. I would be looking to exit if I did have it, certainly on a move back beneath there. PRU Gold Company. I've been very bearish on this, haven't I? It hasn't done well, but this gap is important. Then back, the leopard doesn't change its spots, and today's candle's okay. I don't think I really want to be short it if today's candle closes on its high. I certainly don't want to be long. I think it's too early to be long, and I can just scrape in at a hold on the basis that we've got some rising points of demand through here, but that's about it. And if it was to close back beneath this level here, I think very clearly I would be going minus 1/3 on that one. It's just a very, very nothing chart, just a very tricky chart with really nothing, no further analysis required here, Bing, sorry. Santos from JJ, is it going into a long-term uptrend? We talked about Santos. I think it is. I think it looks quite good. Just asking for a friend. Well done. That's very cheeky. I think maybe JJ knows not to ask me about Santos. From Joe, WHC does look like it's getting close to a buy again. From Nishan, ELD, Nishan's giving me a list of 10 stocks. I don't know if I'll be able to do them all. I can do them very quickly. I still think that looks pretty awful. It doesn't look completely awful like it's looked for so long. Some people probably tell you that it's got a great moat and there's plenty of value in the business. Maybe I can go a hold on the basis that we are seeing, to be fair, we are seeing some really nice white candles through here. Price action's flattening out. I'd be concerned if we start to move beneath here, because for me, that would indicate we've got yet another leg down, probably back towards those lows. I can go a hold in the meantime. This is just so far away from a buy for me. GrainCorp, I think, is very close to a buy. I tweeted this morning about agricultural commodities, in particular wheat, starting to look very good again on the charts. I did talk about this one on Friday. I think you can add some cheeky risk on this. The candles haven't turned out as good as I would have liked, but next white candle, plus 1/3. I want to write that on the screen. Next, white candle, close on high, equals. That's really all I'm just waiting for here. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that one. GrainCorp. IPL, we've got all the agricultural stocks here. Maybe you've heard about somebody talking about these as being really great because of, I don't know, Hunger Games or something like that. I can't see it. It's a very strong long-term downtrend. The short-term uptrend is half decent, but the candles are sketchy at best and the price action is not really stimulating me to buy. I could go hold, but it's really a tenuous grip on hold. This is so far away from the list of things I want to buy. I cannot express to you just how far that is. HSN looks good actually recently. It has moved more towards a lighten the load instead of increasing the load on that one. I'm ambivalent, unfortunately. Karoon Gas, I don't think this is the energy stock for me. It looks like it's really, really hard. And I think if you like pain, you'll buy this one. And I think if you love pain, you already own it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's a pass for me. ANG is a pass for me. I think that looks horrific. HLA looks worse than the last one, really, really quite awful. And then PPE is up there as well with being as bad as the ones I just looked at. Hopefully that satisfies your requirements there, Nishan. Let's have a look at A4N, which is still looking okay. I nearly said good. I just don't like we're losing a little bit of momentum here. Just watch it. Look what we've said in the past. We've said, sort of close beneath there. We haven't done it yet, but let me just sort of, well, that's the candle now, isn't it? That's the shadow. So let's just move that over there, and I'll let you do what you have to do with it, because I know you know how to do it. Michael, MEI we've done. TIE. You know what I'm going to say about this, don't you? I have to wait 20 seconds so I can put it in the YouTube thing. No. And sorry, it's I don't mean to be nasty or to rude, but last time I checked, it was my webinar, and last time I checked, you're here to hear how I analyse things. I'm just so not interested in those charts. I'm sorry. I'm interested in this chart. I think this looks very interesting. Today's upper shadow that's building is a bit of an issue. If it was to close near the highs, a couple of things will happen. One, it's going to be much further away from a light green zone, which is frustrating, but two, it would look very good. I'm not sure if I want to tackle this point of supply. I think that is one hell of an almighty point of supply. Like, as far as points of supply go, that's a big one. So I could certainly get to a hold it if you got it, but I'm not sure if I want to chase it. I think the candle to buy was here. I think this was the big one where you wanted to buy and get some risk on the table. And then if you were adding some risk to here, I'd be probably more comfortable with that instead of maybe just putting the first bit of risk in, because you can kind of maybe get to break even across the two positions, if you get where I'm going with that. BEZ, and that is a pretty, otherwise a pretty good looking chart there. And I'm just going to do something in the background here. BEZ. Just want to see if it's been in here. I did shortlist it on the 13th of July. In fact, there you go. You will see this will appear on your screen in a second. It just rung a bell. I'm sorry, it just rung a bell for me. So there you go. This is my Twitter. If you don't follow me, you should follow me. And that's where I shortlisted it. Just to illustrate to you what catches my eye, what constitutes something that I love to see. So TIE's not it, ELD's not it, IPL's not it, Hansen, Karoon. I'm not trying to be nasty, Nishan, but for me, I don't want to waste my time on those types of charts. But something like that really catches my interest, and that's why I ran it as a feature chart on that day there. Okay. Let's keep moving. I'm just very close on time. I'm going to do just a few more, and then I will have to leave you. Apologies if I didn't get to your question. But let us go to Nicola. I do want to talk about this one, Nicola. You might have seen it just before on the shortlist, which is Hot Chili. It's one I have feature charted many times. And I'd like to see this close on the high. I know it's not somewhere you'd ordinarily expect me to put a plus 1/3, but I'm just literally just waiting for a pullback here and a shallow one. So if this closes on a high, so let's go, and I'm talking about the last candle, right? If it close on high, then plus 1/3 to add some risk on that one. Okay, I want to be adding risk to charts that are starting to get some steepness about them, but only if that closes on a high, and I will draw an arrow to the candle that I'm talking about, because I like this and I like this. And I'm sure many people listening are on that one, because you do follow my short list. It is such a great name, Hot Chili, because their copper project is in Chile, and possibly we're getting a bit more interest in copper again because of those comments that have come out of China yesterday. Let us head back here, and I'm going to do from Steve Pilbara. I'm pretty sure I did S32. It's like those other charts. Hey, that's a big white candle. That's a fantastic candle. And what that candle allows me to do is to say, you know what, actually I can hold this now. I can hold it on the basis, because I wouldn't have been able to say that. I would have been very strongly suggesting a sell prior to that big white candle. But that candle is still live. It needs to close up there, and I could say I can get to a hold, but I can't buy it. And I'll often say this, I think it's going to go up, but I can't buy it. And it's so contradictory, isn't it? It's so at odds with what you hear time and time again. I think it's going up. Oh, you better buy it. I think it's going up, but I can't buy it because the stuff I need to see to allow me to buy it is just not in place yet. I need to see green here. I need to see at least amber there. I need to see high peaks and high troughs. But that is a big white candle, and it gets me to a hold, not a sell on South 32. NCM, ho hum. plus for me, TL. So I'm not even going to get to the 20 seconds on that, or on that, to put them on my YouTube list, or on that, although that probably looks better than some of the others here. Maybe breaking out through 680 with some white candles, I could get to a buy on it, but I can happily hold that one in the meantime. Ramelius, I think, looks half decent for you, Carlo, but that's about as far as I'm getting. RSG also in that half decent basket. BOE, it's, we've had minus 1/3 on this, and I can't see why you wouldn't have followed that, because you can always get back into it. It seems to go, then it doesn't. Again, this is the pursuit of pain. If you love pain, you own Boss Energy. And if you own Boss Energy, you're not offended by me saying that, because you completely agree with me. You know that that is all pain. IPD looks fine. It's, again, one I've put in my shortlist. Happy holder. Nothing sinister going on there. I know there's a few black candles, but otherwise short-term trend, long-term trend still looks very, very strong, Ben. Happy with that one. Perry's asking me, Perry's saying I was on the money with CXO, and it's kind of weird because I've done a lot of research on CXO over the years. I've even called it a buy on the way up, but the market just didn't like it, and stop fighting the market. If the market doesn't like something, why do you like it? Barry saying there's 2 black candles together, minus 1/3 on DLI perhaps, which we did look at. I can't remember, Barry, but I'm sure you're right, because I know you're very good at the model already. I know you're all over the model. Peter's saying, hi, Carl. I've been visiting WA for the last 6 weeks, currently in the Pilbara. Oh, good, beautiful part of the world. It's been an eye-opener for someone who's been in mining coal in Queensland. Could you do AZS, which I did do. And I think we said on the basis of that last candle, it's still looking very good. It's still fine. Okay. From Mark saying, thank you. Tim saying CCP, which I have been tweeting about. Oh, God. Yeah, if that closes there today, unfortunately, Tim, it hasn't worked out. Not that I don't think you'd be losing a whole lot on it. Probably close to break even, maybe even making a little. But yeah, I just think that candle, if it closes there, it's going to give me that. You can keep some skin in the game though, if you wish. But I just don't like that candle. I'm sorry. I shouldn't apologise because I didn't make the candle, right? CRN, which we've done, it's a conundrum for me. Sorry, Mark. I'm not sure what to do with it. I can see it's going up. It's one which I think is going up, but I can't buy it like South 32. I need to see the demand side get tested a little, see how they come back. And if they're real, if the demand side is real, I'll see the white candles and the low shadows come in, and then I could happily buy it. It's very, very close. Again, I think it's going up. MVP, same ditto on Credit Corp. I would have even said as soon as yesterday, we're in. That's a really nice candle there. But unfortunately, again, I can't make I wish I could make the candles for you, not plus one. No, that's a bit of a species ender there. The huge engulfing outside. And the fact even it's going to close beneath this low here, right? And again, it hasn't happened yet. I don't know. But if these things occur, okay, then I'm really starting to think this way. Let me go copy paste there on that one. And in fact, you're all broken the rules. I'm not going to do any more because I said Barry was the last one. And this is Barry here. In fact, so VOW, not sure what that one is. VOW, vow is the key. China, vow, it's not sorry. Barry saying that the Chinese leaders are vowing to do something about it. Yes, and they said that it'll be a torturous recovery, Barry's quoting the Politburo there. I am at the bottom of all the lists. I've done everybody's questions. I'm going to take a deep breath. T got in very late there. BRN, sorry, there's just no redeeming features. There's not a single reason in this chart to own that stock at all. STA, holy moly, is that can't be real. That has to be a typo. It didn't go to zero. Okay, so that's oh jeez. But if it did show that big black candle, one should not be surprised, because look at the bloody trend before that. No, the day. Oh, there you go. It's updated properly now. No, not for me. No, it's like these are like you need to turn these the other way around, change all the blacks to whites and all the other colors, and then you would get something I would be interested in buying. But it is the opposite of something I would own. And maybe I've been a bit nasty today, haven't I? I've been nasty. Just the way I feel right now. Live market analysis sessions will continue on Thursday. We're going to do the macro, and on Friday, the USA. If you're not a client of Think Markets, well, you really should be, because we are the good guys. in the Australian broking scene. You can trade Chin and Hair sponsored, $8 flat rates, but we do have all of those CFDs on Aussie and US shares commission free, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very good. You can trade FX indices. You can trade something like wheat, actually, which I put out that chart. Go have a look at that chart. You trade wheat, corn, and soybeans, for example. You can trade high-grade copper. How about that? Market-leading spreads, commission-free on shares. We do have the best platforms. We win all the awards, and we have dedicated customer service. And you can actually call us. There's a phone number on the website. How about that? If you're watching any of the streaming services, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified of any of my future updates, or hit the thumbs up button to let me know you like what I'm doing, and I'll continue to do more of it. Apart from that, it has been a pleasure chatting with you today. All the best for your trading until we catch up again. Bye-bye for now. But before you run away, don't forget that everything we've got talked about today is general advice, has not taken into account your personal financial circumstances or particular needs. So before acting upon any of that general advice, you should consider it carefully or seek the help of a financial professional. The rest of the information in that disclaimer is so important, and you should read it right now, or head to the website, download our product disclosure guide or our FSG, whatever that stands for. Bye-bye.